Hi everyone, it's Justin here, Voices for Voices. Thank you so much for joining us in this episode of the show. Whether you're watching, listening here in the United States or abroad, thank you so much for making Voices for Voices what it is. Uh, it's just incredible the following, the love and support that we get on a day-to-day basis from you, our listeners, our viewers. If you can help us out, follow us on social media, give us a big thumbs up, like, follow, subscribe, share, repost. And if you could reach out to 25 contacts in your phone and let them know about the Voices for Voices organization and the Voices for Voices TV show and podcast. We are the hottest podcast and TV show on the planet. So if you could help us continue that uh, that activity, we greatly appreciate that. Thank you for joining us. So we're going to talk a little bit about ourselves. There's a song that is out where the the singer artist is talking about not minding talking about others, but it would be nice if he would get to talk about himself sometimes. And so that's one opinion. I I think probably partially that where how do we how do we treat ourselves before we say we want to talk about ourselves? How do we treat ourselves on a day-to-day basis? That I think is the key. How do we think about our challenges, our successes? Because there's a fine line between being and t being and thinking that we're the greatest thing since sliced bread. It's an analogy. And or just giving ourselves, I don't know, that proverbial pat on the back, or saying it's okay. It's okay where I'm at. It's okay what I'm doing. I'm doing the best that I can. You know, whether it's in the professional realm or personal realm, we would probably call it gossip. Talking about others, what others are doing, what others are wearing. And I think we think about that gossip. We might not say, "Oh, we're thinking about gossip." We might not say that particular word, but people watching talking about, "Oh, did you see what he was wearing? Did you see what he did? Or what she did? Why would she wear those shoes? Why would he wear that shirt? Why would he wear that hat? Why would he pick that car?" You see what I'm getting at? It's much easier to talk about and think about others and what we might think are their faults. Listen, we all have faults. None of us are perfect. None of us are perfect. So when we talk about others and, uh, oh, I'm not going to talk about this idea or that idea because that person did this or that. That's fine. We have that option. We have that choice. But I'm talking about right here, right now. How do we think about what we're doing? Are we happy with the work that we do? I am. To some people, they may say, "Oh no, that couldn't be fun at all." Or, these dumb videos, these stupid shows. Heard it, heard it. I've heard that before. But this stupid show is and has an incredible following, and that's thanks to you. See, we don't do these shows for our just for our health. Because I know, well, let me talk about the health part. When we do shows, we do partially do them for our health. It's a way of sharing, venting a uh, a video or a listening diary, we could call it, of our lives. But in addition to that, we talk about helping one person. I already know I've helped one person, that we've helped one person, because I've helped myself by our TV show and podcast. And it's not to say, oh, I'm so good. It's not that at all. It's that, again, we all have flaws. We all have things that, yeah, that are flaws. I do too. I have a lot of them. Too many to count. But what I try to do in those moments that I can, like this, is to just talk and just be real and, real talk, real feelings, real thoughts. And so we talk about how do we how do we treat ourselves after we do something that makes us feel good. For me, that's helping people. When I know that I'm helping someone, and then I know I'm at least helping myself by talking through issues, topics, experiences, events, life, feelings, emotions, all those. I know that I'm helping myself. And it's not to be greedy, but just to be transparent. It's one of the things I learned about in therapy. We talk about journaling and how that's helpful, how we can take things outside of from the brain and put it on paper. And if we want to hold on to it, we can. If we want to not hold on to it, we can do that too. But just getting it out of our mind, out of our head is very helpful. And that's what I've been taught over these 9 years, where I'm continuing to learn how to live substance free, which is predominantly alcohol free. And so we're helping people. We're helping again. And so how does that make me feel? Makes me feel good. Makes me feel like I've taken a little bit off my shoulders, a little bit out of my mind, out of my head that I might carry around if I don't find a productive way of getting it out of my mind, I guess we could call it. So we already know we have flaws. And so when we do and have moments, we can stop and go, okay, this feels this feels good talking about this or sharing this or whatever this is for you. For me, a lot of it is the show. It, in a way, chronicles my life through me and through our guests that we have. Some might not be comfortable doing that. That's okay. What makes you feel good? There's got to be something. There's got to be something that when you do it, it makes you feel good and go, oh, I want to do that again. And for me, part of it is the Voices for Voices TV show and podcast. Incredibly helpful to me because as much as I try to journal, actually physically writing, I'm able to. I'm thankful and grateful that I'm able to. I guess putting putting my life experiences, everything, putting that together in a show format, in a podcast format. It, this is basically my journal through the eyes and the lens of me and the guests that we have on our show. And so that's why I'm so adamant about wanting to wanting to help people. Helping one person or doing that. That's for that huge goal that we came up with, where we want to reach and help at least 3 billion people over the course of my lifetime and beyond. That's billion with a B. That's 3 billion people. It's a lot of people. We can't do it alone, and we haven't been doing it alone. it's because of you, other organizations saying, you know what, this is this is pretty helpful, or it could be very helpful to some people in my network, some people in my phone, in my contacts. Could be helpful. And so I would say thinking about myself in those positive moments, like now, like yeah, I'm nervous, but I over the course of all our episodes, well, there's some guests where I get extra stressed and nervous and anxious about. Uh, but when I'm just talking, there's a sense of peace and serenity because I know I'm taking ideas, events, experiences from my head and I'm able to share. And then at the very least, I'm sharing them. So they're getting out of my head. And there just might be one person, one additional person that may be or has gone through something and says to themselves, you know what? I thought I was the only one. I thought it was just me. And here's this dude on this show. He's talking about these things and I can relate to that. I forget what show I was watching the other day. Oh, it was, yeah, it was actually a trial. And the counselor, therapist, however you want to refer, was going through these diagnoses that she was uncovering for this patient. And there were a lot of things that I connected with. And so the person that was getting these diagnoses through these assessment methods, I was feeling, and this was like through the TV, I was like, oh wow, that's what these mean. That's what some additional areas of my diagnoses mean. And yes, that's me. A lot of it was very, I don't know, yeah, just connected. And I just started to think, wow, that's me. So that person who was being diagnosed with certain uh, mental challenges, we'll call it, was not alone. And so I, even at age 44, 9 years removed from the old life, I'm still learning more about me. from others, not mothers, others. And so if I could talk to that individual, I would tell them and share that you're not the only one going through what you're going through. And there just might be someone watching and listening to Voices for Voices, to our TV show and podcast that may say, Justin, you're not alone. And so we should be able to treat ourselves with compassion, loving, uh, kindness. Again, we're putting the flaws aside. We're talking about how we're not alone in life. It may seem like we are, and with a lot of the work that I do, it seems like it a lot. Like I'm the only one going through this. And so then I'll have my days of despair, I guess we call it. But then I'll find strength from somewhere to continue. And so I don't know where that strength comes from. I think it comes from God. For me, I'm a believer, but you don't have to be to follow us, watch us, listen to us, buy our books, donate to our organization. It's have to be a human being. That's it. A human being that can say and think, wow, I am not alone. And you know what? You're right. You're not alone. I'm not alone. That individual that was being diagnosed that I mentioned, they're not alone. So a little more kindness, a little more grace, a little more patience with ourselves is going to go a long way. I'm not talking about just how others will then see us, perceive us, watch us, listen to us. I'm talking about how we see ourselves, hear ourselves. And I'll tell you this, sometimes, for me, a lot of times, I get so down into the weeds. I'm like, are we making a difference? Are we doing this? That when I actually look up and I go, oh my gosh, how did we get this far? My answer is you, our viewers, our listeners, people commenting, people volunteering, people we meet all across the world. And so we continue doing it. because it makes me feel good knowing that I can be and we can be a light to those who need it. I talk about this a lot. Somebody's thinking that life isn't cut out for them. When we talk about helping one person, I'd say helping one person stay away from that ledge, seek counseling, and on this counseling, therapy, whatever we want to call it. There's lot of people out there, a lot of counselors, a lot of therapists. Number one, in my opinion, and with my experience of therapy consistently, often, they let me talk. They let me share. Kind of like this. Kind of like our Voices for Voices TV show and podcast. They let me talk. They listen. They jump in when they need to. And so for me, that's the type of therapist I need, is one that will listen to me, that won't bombard me with a lot of things. Because part of me, when that happens, if I get bombarded, I get really stressed, I get burnt out, and then I just shut down. I'm like, there's just so much here. I don't know. I'm just gonna move on to the next thing. So you gotta find your style. You gotta find that ahead of time. Because when you're sitting either in person, standing in person, virtually, however, you have to know what you want to get out of that therapy, counseling relationship. If you're just like, oh, I want somebody to fix me. Well, I, I, I don't know that, we can be really fixed. We can be given ideas and thoughts and coping mechanisms and that. But at the end of the day, it comes down to us. So think about what kind of person, what kind of attributes you would want them to have. So that when you're actually meeting with them, you can think to yourself, okay, this jives with what I need, or maybe not. And I mentioned there's a lot of therapists, a lot of counselors out there. You may have to go through two, three, or four or so counselors or therapists until you have that match where it's like, all right, they get me. They let me talk. They listen. They give feedback. That's how I that's how I know or have a good idea that I'll be sticking with psychiatrists or therapist, counselor. So you got to know that ahead of time because you're getting billed, or your insurance is getting billed, and you're having a copay maybe. Um, and so y- the more you can have an idea in your mind, the better off you're going to be, and the less time you're going to spend going, okay, I've had 7 visits, but I don't know if we really connect, that this is what I need. That's 7 copays. That's seven what insurance isn't going to pay. If you don't have, and if you don't have insurance, there's been times I haven't had insurance. It's, it's got to find a way. And when you have a counselor, therapist, psychiatrist that's going to work with you, that shows you compassion, kindness, that's when you know that you found the right person for this. So you got to find out what you're seeking, what you're looking for, what your end game is. People ask me, Justin, how long are you going to go to therapy and all and the things? I say, I don't know. I'm probably going to go the rest of my life because I know what the other side looks like for me, and it's not healthy, or it's less healthy. However, we want to put terms on these words, these definitions. So that's the huge thing. And there's people out there that really care. You might think, well, they just let me talk. They just listen. Maybe that works for you. Maybe it doesn't. If you're thinking, I thought they would say something, I thought they would say more. These people, this is their career, their job, their profession. So they're listening to you. Chances are, with their training and background and experience, listening to you, they may have thought about it and said that's what this patient needs. This is what this person needs. They don't need me interrupting all the time. And then secondly and lastly, it is it's always hard at the beginning, right? When you're trying something new, it's always hard at the beginning. But the more we do it, the more we go, the more we believe in ourselves, then that's going to go over into our therapy counseling sessions. And then we're going to be more confident. There's going to be a little bit less stress. Again, it doesn't solve everything. Doesn't solve everything at all. but just a little bit of less stress can mean the world, especially if you or I are on the brink of burnout and going, oh my gosh, how am I going to get through this? Because we know those times come. So build your team like a coach builds their team. That's probably the simplest way of thinking about it is just, build your team. The people that professionally, it's their job to help you and I. And look, we got to get over ourselves and what other people think. That's I said lastly before the other point. But this is last. We got to get over ourselves. We have to get over, well, this person said this about me, or I wonder what they're thinking. I've been there. How do I look? How do I sound? How am I driving? How am I? And I had to get over that. Didn't mean that any of those are perfect. Absolutely not. We all have flaws. I have flaws. But we just don't let that gossip I talked about at the beginning of the show. We don't let it work bother us as much. It's about how we can, I say, get by in this life and not be so concerned what others think. Because it doesn't matter. No matter how popular somebody may seem, how much money, cars, mansions, yachts, airplanes, helicopters, however you want to measure that. We could have all those things and still be empty inside. And just because somebody has those things doesn't mean that they're always the nicest person to others. They may flaunt those types of things. You know, and you might think, oh, well, so and so is talking about me, or I wonder what they think, or I'm never going to attain this goal, or we got to get started. We got to get past that. It's hard. It's not easy. It's hard. But let me tell you, once you get moving, then you're going to be like me, and 9 years later, go, wow, it's been 9 years or longer. Like my friend Don Mattis Jr., 40 years sober. He said he looked back and he's like, oh my gosh, 40 years. So everybody has a thing. And I'm not talking that you have to go sober. I'm not talking. Find your thing. Find your things that you like to do that make you feel good, that make you feel like, you know what? I don't care what others think. Again, we're talking about healthy things, not illegal things. So I have to put that disclaimer in there. So thank you for joining us on this episode of the Voices for Voices TV show and podcast. Give us the big thumbs up, like, follow, subscribe, share, repost, follow us on social media, reach out to 25, 50, 100 of your contacts in your phone. Let them know about the show. And we are grateful and thankful for you joining us. And we look forward to the next show coming to you, and we're just so grateful to have the demand of our shows be what it is for us to continue doing what we're doing. It's very, very, very humbling. So thank you for that. So until next time, let's celebrate the voices of the world, and let's be a voice for ourselves and maybe somebody else in need that's not able to do so. Take care. Bye bye for now.